A secret that no one has known for 25 years has come to light in Princess Anne's hands. The secret letter Diana wrote before her death and the mysterious pearl necklace contained secrets that would affect not only William, but the entire royal family. Who did the word her in the letter refer to? And why did Diana entrust this letter to Anne? Here is the moment when the 25-year mystery was revealed. On a cold morning in October 2024, Princess Anne was organizing a forgotten room on the upper floor of her house at Gatcombe Park. The 74-year-old princess was always known for her practical and orderly nature. This room had not been used for years, just a place where old belongings and memories accumulated. In the early hours of the morning, Anne had gone up to the room with a cup of tea in her hand. The first cold of autumn had begun to make itself felt, and the corridors of the old stone house smelled slightly damp. This room used to be used as a guest bedroom, but no one had entered it for the last 10 years. When she opened the door, the stagnant air inside greeted her. The curtains were closed and only a faint light filtered into the room. Anne opened the curtains to let the morning sun in. Everything in the room was covered with a thin layer of dust. As Anne rummaged through wooden chests and old pictures, she thought that each piece had a story. Here were photographs from her father, King George, letters from her mother, Queen Elizabeth's youth, and private memories of the royal family. She was opening the old suitcases in a corner and checking their contents. Some contained dresses from the 1960s, others contained old gifts. Each item she found took her to a memory from the past. Just then, she noticed the presence of a small antique cabinet in the corner. This cabinet was a special piece left by her father, King George VI. Made of dark oak wood, it was an elegant piece of furniture bearing traces of traditional English craftsmanship. It looked like it hadn't been opened for years. Even its key seemed to have been lost. Anne remembered this cabinet. As a child, she knew that her father's special documents were kept here, but so much time had passed that she had forgotten what was inside. She examined the cabinet's lock mechanism. It was an old-style lock and looked like it could be opened with a little force. With a careful movement, she forced the lock, and finally the cabinet doors opened. When she curiously opened the cabinet doors, she saw various old belongings, letters, and small boxes inside. On the upper shelf were old photographs, and on the lower shelf were various small boxes. But what caught her attention most was an elegant jewelry box covered with dust. This box was different from the others. It looked newer and was definitely not from her father's era. Anne's heart began to race. How had this box gotten here? When she picked up the box, she noticed that the letters DS were engraved underneath. Diana Spencer. Her heart stopped for a moment. This was Diana's box, but how had it gotten here? Anne carefully examined the jewelry box. The box was a silver piece from the late 1980s, crafted in Victorian style. Very fitting for Diana's style, elegant but unadorned. When she opened the box, there were a few old earrings and a simple bracelet inside, but Anne's experienced eyes noticed something odd about the bottom of the box. The bottom part looked thicker than normal. When she carefully probed with her finger, she realized there was a secret compartment. With slight pressure, the panel at the bottom of the box slid, and the secret compartment opened. There were two things inside, an elegant pearl necklace and a cream-colored, perfectly folded letter. Anne's hand began to tremble. On the envelope written in Diana's handwriting was, "To my sons and her. Only the person I trust can read." Anne was undecided about opening the letter. This could be Diana's most private, most intimate thoughts. But could the word her on the envelope refer to herself? She held the trembling envelope in her hand for a long time. This letter had been waiting here for 25 years. Perhaps it should never have been opened. But Diana's words, "Only the person I trust can read," echoed inside Anne. Anne approached the window and looked at the garden outside. She remembered Diana, that young, beautiful woman who sometimes looked so lonely. She remembered the years Diana struggled with royal protocols, the difficulties she experienced with Charles, but despite everything, her endless love for her children. Taking a deep breath, she decided to open the letter. Perhaps Diana had really entrusted this to her. She carefully opened the envelope and took the paper that came out in her hands. Diana's handwriting began with those familiar, elegant lines. The paper was slightly yellowed, but the writing was still clear. Anne focused her eyes on the letter. "Dear Anne, if you are reading this letter, it means I am no longer among you. This is a terrible thought, but it's real. Due to the pressure and threats I have felt recently, I feel compelled to record my inner words somewhere. I am writing this letter to you because you are the only person I trust in the royal family. You never judged me, you never blindly took Charles's side. You were always fair. Do you remember that difficult weekend at Balmoral? I was very upset, and you came and just sat next to me. You hadn't said anything, but your presence had given me strength. At that moment, I understood that you really understand me." Anne's eyes filled with tears. She remembered that weekend. Diana really looked very fragile, and Anne had instinctively approached her. Since then, there had been a silent understanding between them. The letter continued. "Anne, sometimes I feel very lonely in this royal cage. The constant pressure of the media, Charles's coldness, the strict rules of the palace. Sometimes I can't breathe. My only consolation is William and Harry. They keep me going." Anne once again understood how difficult times Diana had gone through. From the outside, everything looked perfect at that time, but the reality was very different. She knew Diana trusted her, but she hadn't realized it was this deep. The letter continued. "I think about my sons, William and Harry. I cannot forgive myself for leaving them alone in this cold world. But I know you will protect them. You will teach them the power of love. Charles is getting more and more distant from me. I don't blame him. Maybe this marriage was destined to be like this from the beginning. But I'm afraid my children will grow up in a loveless world. Camilla, Anne, you see her influence on Charles. After I'm gone, please be there for my children. Protect them. Mother them." Anne's heart tightened. How right Diana's fears of that time had turned out to be. Diana had also written about the pearl necklace in the letter. "I received this necklace from someone very special, from someone who really saw and understood me during the darkest period of my life. This necklace is a symbol of hope for me. When I wear it during difficult times, I feel strong. I entrust this necklace to you, Anne. Maybe one day you can give it to William or Harry's wives, but only to those who deserve true love. This necklace reminds of the power of love. It reminds of Diana's love." Anne took the necklace in her hand. Simple but elegant, the pearl beads were perfectly arranged. When she touched it, she felt as if she felt Diana's warmth. After reading the letter, Anne sat in silence for a long time. Diana's trust both honored her and placed a great responsibility on her. She folded the letter back and put it in its place, but continued to hold the pearl necklace in her hand. The cold touch of the necklace reminded her of reality. This wasn't just a dream. Diana had really left this trust to her. That night, Anne couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned in her bed, thinking about Diana's words over and over again. The sentence, "You are the only person I trust in the royal family," echoed in her ears. The next morning, as Anne walked in the garden, she asked herself questions. Should she show this letter to William? Should she tell Harry? Or should she keep Diana's secrets forever? For days she thought about what to do with this letter. While drinking her morning tea, at dinner, even while riding horses, her mind was always on this matter. Diana's words were so sincere, so full of pain, that she couldn't decide whether to hide them or share them. On one hand, she thought Diana's children had the right to know their mother's final thoughts. Especially William, now as a father, could better understand Diana's fears and hopes. On the other hand, this letter could deeply wound William. Diana's concerns about Charles and Camilla, her fear for her children, These could be too heavy for William. Anne was trying to understand why Diana had given her this task. Maybe this letter was never meant to be opened. Maybe Diana had just poured her feelings onto paper and didn't want them to be shared. But on the envelope of the letter it said, "Only the person I trust can read." This meant Anne needed to read it. But what would she do afterwards? A week later, Anne attended the royal family's traditional dinner at Windsor Castle. When she saw William, she noticed how much he resembled Diana. The same blue eyes, the same gentle expression. Diana's son had grown up to become a mature man. During dinner, William was talking about Charlotte, the little princess's success at school, her popularity with the public. As Anne listened, she remembered Diana's words in the letter. "Teach them the power of love," Diana had said. It was at that moment that Anne decided. She thought William was now 42 years old, a mature man. He had the right to know his mother's final words. But at the same time, this letter could sadden him, make him relive the pain of the past. After dinner, a plan formed in Anne's mind. She would invite William to her house and show him the letter, but she would leave the decision to William. If he wanted to read the letter, he would read it. If not, Anne would keep this secret forever. On a cold day in November, Anne invited William to Gatcombe Park. William sensed something from his aunt's serious demeanor. "William, there's something I need to show you," said Anne, clasping her hands behind her back. William looked curiously. Anne had a small jewelry box and a letter in her hands. This is your mother's," said Anne, with emotion trembling in her voice. William's face changed. "My mother's? Where did you find it?" Anne told the story of the discovery. Then she handed the letter to William. "I think you need to read it." William's hands were trembling when he took the letter. Seeing his mother's handwriting still broke his heart even after 25 years. He began to read the letter silently. In every line he saw his mother's love, fears, and hopes. It was clearly stated how much Diana thought about him and Harry, how much she worried about their futures. When he reached the end of the letter, William's eyes had welled up. Anne was silently watching him. "She's still protecting me," William whispered. "Even after 25 years, she's still protecting me." Anne sat next to him. "Diana knew you would become a strong man, but she also wanted you to remain loving." When William saw the pearl necklace, he was curious. Who did this necklace come from? Anne remembered Diana's expressions in the letter. "Your mother was going through a very difficult period. This necklace came from someone who understood and supported her. She didn't specify exactly who it was from, but it was someone very special." William took the necklace in his hand. "When my mother was going through difficult times, I was a child. I couldn't understand how lonely she felt." "Diana was never alone," said Anne. "Maybe there were problems between her and Charles, but your and Harry's love kept her going." After William finished the letter, there was a long silence. Then he looked at Anne. "This letter and the necklace, let them stay with you," he said. "Mother entrusted them to you. You should protect them." Anne was surprised. "But William, these are your mother's final words." "Exactly why," said William. "Mother trusted you. You have the right to carry this trust. One day, when the right time comes, maybe we'll give it to Charlotte. But now I want you to protect it." After William left, Anne looked at the jewelry box again. It was no longer just an old box. It was part of Diana's legacy. She carefully placed and locked the box. This secret would remain in Diana's trusted hands. In the following days, Anne constantly thought about Diana's words in the letter. She understood how well Diana knew her, how much she trusted her. One morning, Anne was sitting on Diana's favorite bench at Balmoral. This was the bench where Diana used to come and think as a child. Anne was wearing the pearl necklace that day. The cool touch of the necklace made her feel Diana's presence. Looking at the flowers in the garden, she remembered Diana's words in the letter. "Don't forget the power of love," Diana had said. As Anne felt the necklace around her neck, she began talking to Diana. "Diana, now I understand. You weren't just a mother, you were also a woman who saw the future. William became a strong man, just as you wanted. I see your spirit in Charlotte." The wind blew softly, as if Diana was answering. "I will carry this trust to the end. I will protect your love, your fears, your hopes." Anne was thinking about when to give the pearl necklace to Charlotte. She was still very young, but she was the one who would carry Diana's legacy. Maybe when Charlotte turned 18, maybe when she got married. Diana's spirit would show that moment. In Anne's house, in the secret place of that old cabinet, Diana's jewelry box stood safely. The letter and pearl necklace inside continued to keep the 25-year secret. No one knew this secret. Even William only knew of the letter's existence. They had shared the details of the content with Anne. This was Diana's final wish, to protect the power of love, to raise her children with love, to bring humanity to the royal family. Every time Anne read Diana's letter, she understood how prescient she had been. Diana had sensed she would die and had made plans to protect her loved ones. The word "her" in the letter referred to Anne. Diana knew Anne's fair, trustworthy character. She was confident that she would protect this trust. The pearl necklace was a symbol of hope during Diana's most difficult times. Who had given this necklace to Diana? Maybe they would never know. But what mattered was the loving energy this necklace carried. Anne lived Diana's memory every day. She preserved her loving approach, her warmth toward children, her humanity. William and Harry carried their mother's love even without knowing this final message. Charlotte, George, and Louis also received this love from their grandmother. Diana's legacy wasn't just letters and necklaces. It was the humanity, love, and empathy she brought to the royal family. The 25-year secret would remain safe in Anne's hands. Diana's final wish had been fulfilled. Love was under protection. This is how Princess Anne had become a guardian, the protector of Diana's love, the secret angel of her children. See you in the next video.